I'm Kamika Dillard, certified ACC professional coach and CEO of 𝗪𝗺 Coaching. At 𝗪𝗺 Coaching, professional growth isn't one size fits all. That's why we've created 3 ways to support you. DOT for building clarity and direction, RISE for resilience and intentional action, and VISION for long-term strategy and leadership. Each program is designed to help you move through setbacks with confidence and clarity and create momentum that lasts. No pressure, no hustle, just real progress. Ready to explore what's possible? Book a free discovery call at 𝗪𝗺coaching.com. Welcome to the Black Women Will Say Black Women podcast, the podcast where we support, amplify, validate, and elevate Black women always. I'm your host, Kamika Dillard, and this is our sanctuary, a space built on the belief that when Black women show up for each other, we don't just survive, we save. This is more than a podcast, it's a movement, so let's get into it. All right, y'all, for this week's 𝗪𝗺 file, I want to talk about a hard decision that I had to make recently. At one point in time, I was a partner in a business with 3 other friends. And this was a business I really, really believed in. The vision was exciting. On paper, it made sense. And I wanted it to work so badly. Unfortunately, it didn't. And we made the very challenging choice to shut it down. What I learned the hard way through this process is that you can't build sustainability with people who are not aligned with your businesses. This is not to say you don't go into business with friends, but I want to be clear that it wasn't about friendships. Like, we didn't have friction in terms of working with each other. It wasn't about talent. It wasn't about intelligence. It wasn't even about intentions. It was about standards, and I would say work ethic, decision-making, about how seriously we took the responsibility of building something together. I often found myself carrying more than my share emotionally, operationally, mentally. I kept having the same conversations, hoping clarity would eventually turn into change. But I stayed longer than we should have because I'm just not a quitter. And I didn't want to disappoint anyone. But here's the truth in staying in misalignment, which really that's what it was about. It isn't about being loyal. It's really about avoidance. The failure wasn't shutting the business down. Businesses close all the time. The failure was believing alignment could be negotiated. Eventually, I had to make a decision that felt heavy, but it was really honest. I chose to follow my heart versus the attachment that I had to the business. I chose clarity over comfort, because once you get really, really clear about those things, you got to make some hard decisions. And we are in the process of shutting this business down. And it's not because, like I said, I failed, but I just didn't want to keep devoting a lot of time, effort, and energy into something that just didn't fit. I have a lot going on right now, really leaning fully into my entrepreneurial ventures with, 30-day test prep, my 𝗪𝗺 coaching, Black Women Will Say Black Women. Failing forward in this sense really taught me who you build with matters just as much as what you build. And misalignment will always cost you more than walking away ever will. So if you are constantly having to explain, negotiate, doing a lot of emotional labor of trying to make alignment work, you have to just kind of take that as a signal that, okay, I need to maybe make some hard decisions and leave. It's not about failure. It's all about information that you're receiving from multiple signals. And that is this week's 𝗪𝗺 file. All right, y'all. We have in the sanctuary today, Diana Nicole. Diana Nicole is a $1 million entrepreneur, AI and social media consultant, and speaker who helps women build confidence, visibility, and income through TikTok and digital platforms. Known for blending strategy with heart, she empowers women to show up authentically, leverage modern tools, and create sustainable success without burnout. Let's welcome to the sanctuary, Diana Nicole.
Hello, hello, hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. How's it going?
Good. I'm so honored to be here. So honored to be here.
We are so happy to have you. We chatted a few weeks ago. Everyone knows we do all the intakes, and I was just fascinated by your story and what you have built despite all the maybe rocky beginnings. So, you spent the early part of your career as a stay-at-home mom before everything shifted. Like,
Mhm.
maybe you can tell us a little bit about like what was happening during that time, how, that season of your life, like when it ended, and kind of, how did that kind of set you up for where you are right now?
Awesome. Thank you for asking. I'm a former teacher. So I started in the classroom as a teacher, and then I started having my own kiddos. And some of my kids were ended up being special needs. And so I had to choose between like being in the classroom or going home and serving my family. And so I did for years. Homeschool. I was one of those crunchy moms, making bread from scratch and everything. And so I spent years, 17 years married, and for the bulk of that time, a stay-at-home mom, homeschooling my kids and doing all the side hustles that us moms do to bring in extra income to help. And um, and then when the pandemic hit, I went into the pandemic married, and I came out of the pandemic divorced.
Mm.
And that was something that I never expected. I always tell people I never wish divorce on anyone because it's like losing someone to death, but they didn't die. They're still walking around and breathing. Um, so yeah, that's kind of where this big jump in entrepreneurship started for me was with crisis, the crisis of divorce and having to figure out, oh my God, staying at home as a mom doesn't pay mortgages. So, Lord help, what am I gonna do now? Because oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah, so you found yourself at a crossroads of divorce, which I know probably a lot of our listeners can relate to. What else was maybe like driving you during this time when you made the transition from, married life to now dealing with the new reality of, having to do this on your own, having to figure it out? Like, what was really kind of driving you to like go certain directions with your career and how to make money?
I think so. I tell people all the time, it was for me, it's been my road of resilience. So I wish that I could say divorce was the worst thing that ever happened to me, but it's not. Um, I don't have time to share every single story, but some of the heavy hitters are I had rolled my van over 3 times and landed upside down in a ditch with my 3 daughters inside. And I had experienced I was having a surgery and I was bleeding to death. And my then husband had to decide, hey, do we want to take her uterus or let her bleed to death? And so at that point, going through a divorce, there have been so many crises in my life where my guiding thought is always uh number one, I start with gratitude. Like I'm just grateful that I'm making it through this thing. And then number two, if I can face any of those hard crises, whether it was the divorce or whether it was the near death or whatever it is, I'm not going to settle for something that is making me suffer because these could be my last days. And so that kind of guides me through everything. Is like I'm grateful to be here and I'm not finna waste not one moment.
A lot of people talk about near death experiences as shifting their perspective on a lot of different aspects of their life.
Mhm.
So, did that near death experience happen while you were married or after your divorce?
Both of them happened before the divorce.
Okay, so when you, I guess, was trying to make that decision, like, okay, all right, let me back it up. Let me back it up. So, what did that near death experience kind of open your eyes to in multiple aspects of your life? physically, mentally, emotionally, how did that experience shift the way you were operating at that time?
That's a good question. I wish that I could say it in itself shifted me in ways, but it didn't. It was almost like it took these series of things, including a divorce. But I think what that one experience awakened for me in every area of my life was um, how fragile time was, and it was very humbling because I'm in my 40s, so that might have happened when I was 39. You assume that you have your whole life ahead of you. I'm in my 30s, I'm gonna die when I'm 80, 90. And so it was humbling to face it and be like, oh, not only do I not have as much time as I think I do, I'm not in charge of it either. Like, so it's humbling because I think one, you walk around with the assumption, but two, you walk around with this, for lack of a better word, like pride, like you control your time, but you really don't. And so that affected so many areas of my life, where I was full of pride and I thought I had all the answers and I thought I had it all together. And it was like, oh, maybe I don't.
Mm. I
Mm.
mean, I think that's going to resonate with so many people, especially, you know, we're dealing with so many factors outside of our control. It's a constant reminder of we're really not in charge of anything.
Mm-mm,
The only
mm-mm.
thing we really can like control is our reaction to said things,
Yes, yes.
which kind of leads me to my next question. So, we're divorced, we're trying to figure out how we are going to make money. You mentioned that you were a substitute teacher, before you were divorced. So, what did you go back to substitute teaching? What did you decide to start doing from an income perspective?
Yes. So I went back into substitute teaching. So I'm a former full-time teacher. So you always have the option to just say, hey, let me go sub. So I kind of split my time between substitute teaching, driving for Uber, and just trying to figure out, I always say, an entrepreneur, we always have a million side hustles. So it
Hmm.
was like trying to figure out which side hustle was gonna work. It's like, can I sing? Can I write a children's book? Can I, teach English as a second language online? You're kind of like just grasping for straws. So a lot of it was substitute teaching, and most of it was driving Uber, and then some of it was, gosh, what am I gonna do? Like, what's gonna be the long term, figure this out, gotta be a grown up for the rest of my life type of vibe. So that's kind of where I was.
And so, what did we decide to do? Because, I mean, people hear like, okay, you were driving Uber, you were, substitute teaching, you really hadn't figured it out. But what were you encountering that was kind of driving you or pulling you in a specific direction with how you wanted to proceed in your entrepreneurial journey?
Another crisis hit. Another crisis hit. I was subbing and I got sick. And it wasn't just like, oh, I caught a cold or caught COVID. I ended up getting, after a year of going in and out of the emergency room and to the doctor and things like that, I'm still subbing. And they found a growth in my intestines, precancerous, that they had to remove. And and they found out from the other side that my stomach was hemorrhaging into my esophagus. And so because I was sick, I was teaching I was subbing in the classroom and the stress kept aggravating my sickness. I I wish that I could say I knew exactly what I was going to do. I didn't. I didn't know. What I did know is if I kept subbing, I was going to kill myself. I was going to kill myself in the classroom, um, from the stress and the lack of balance and all that stuff. So I quit. I walked into work one day. I was a full-time sub in a class at that time. And I packed up my stuff and I told them, hey, thanks for the opportunity. But I won't be back tomorrow or anymore. And I had maybe like 3 or 4 like things in the fire that I was hoping would work, but I really didn't know. All I knew was, I say, my road to resilience. It's I had been at rock bottom long enough to know you don't just stay there and die. So I quit. I quit my job and started exploring the other ways that I could make money on the internet.
Okay. Did we explore something like OnlyFans?
No, girl, no one gets to see these boobs. Not these boobs.
So we didn't go and look into OnlyFans, but you started exploring some other ways to make money online. What did you stumble on to, sis?
I opened up a TikTok page because I had heard all these people talking about TikTok. I got my license to teach English as a second language. I tried, this makes me sound like I was really bad. I was desperate. I was painting dressers from the thrift store and flipping them on Facebook Marketplace. And I was telling stories to students and stuff like that in schools. Yeah, but the online, and I was trying to sell digital products.
Okay. Listen, as an entrepreneur, I resonate with having lots of pokers in a fire because you don't know where that big revenue is going to hit. And like where I think people forget, and this is the challenge of social media and why sometimes it pisses me off. One, it's only highlight reels that you really see on social media.
Right.
You don't see the grind, the long nights, the
Mhm.
tears, the you wanting to quit. You know what I'm saying? Like the people who made it, like they weren't quote unquote overnight success. Like
Right.
yes, people go viral, but like your life and your money, that is not something necessarily viral. And when you see those viral moments, you got to remember that that is like one out of like millions of people who actually get that overnight success. So
Mhm.
I understand that. Listen, so you build up, you opened up your TikTok. What year was this?
This was just okay, so we're right in 2026 now. So right at the end of 2024, November 1st, 2024, I posted my first TikTok. Well, my first TikTok video was right at the end of October. So maybe October 26th of 2024.
So how did those, like, did you have a lot of followers? Did you have like a ton, like what were you posting on the TikTok, on the clock app?
Oh my goodness. No, I didn't have any followers. I started a brand new page because I was totally embarrassed. I didn't want my family to know, like, look at her old self trying to get on TikTok. What is she doing? So no, I had no followers. I started from scratch. And I started with one of these trends that I saw here, like, oh, this is the teamwork trend. I'm a mom trying to make this TikTok thing work. Follow me, please.
You said you were embarrassed to tell your family. Why?
Yes. Because as an entrepreneur, it's like you do all these different things and you just don't want to have another thing to have to tell them that didn't work. Right? It's twofold. One, I didn't want to have to tell them another thing that didn't work, considering I had like 5 different things in a fire. But two, as an entrepreneur that kind of bounces all over the place, you also don't want to have to deal with the naysaying. Like, what you doing now? That is not gonna work, girl. That's fake. And so I didn't want to deal with that either. So I'm like, you know what? If it doesn't work, it will die in silence and no one will ever know. And if it is gonna work, I have to at least give it a fair chance without y'all trying to tell me that it's not.
Yeah. Yeah, that the outside, listen, as an entrepreneur, you're already dealing with the inside voice telling you,
Mhm.
girl, this might, I don't know about this one. And then to have the
Mhm.
outside voices coming in, that's just, it can be so overwhelming. So I totally understand. So you get on there, you start this teamwork thing, and I'm new to the clock app, girl. I wish I would have got on sooner than later,
It's not
but
too late. It
I'm
is
on
not too
now.
late.
I'm on now. I'm still trying to figure it out. Shout out to MJ who's trying to help me figure it out. I'm loving it. My FYP, which I didn't know what FYP stood for until TikTok. It's your For You page, God. It's for you. It's popping now. I'm seeing the things. I have some actual other guests that I've connected with because of TikTok. I'm loving my little TikTok journey. But aside from that, so you get on there your first month and you made money, right?
I did make some little some.
How much did you make?
$39.
Oh, you big rolling.
Girl, I could pay my phone insurance with that.
So how did you make the $39?
Well, so I had, because with my old entrepreneur journey, I kind of learned how to grow audiences on other platforms. So I took the stuff that I had learned over there and kind of merged it with TikTok. So I got up to 5,000 followers really, really fast. I did a strategy and I went from 0 to 5,000 followers in 5 days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that was really, really dope. And so when you get 5,000 followers, you get in this thing called the TikTok Shop affiliate program, where you make videos for other people's stuff. They like send you their stuff for free, or you can buy it at Target or Amazon, and you just make a video about it. And so if they click on your video and they buy something, you get a commission. And so my commissions were racking up. I got all the way up to $39.
Okay. So what kept you going when you got that $39 and you're probably like, oh, I'm doing a lot of work. So what kind of kept you going when the results weren't necessarily matching the amount of work you were putting in?
That's a good question. I love this. Thank you for asking this. Remember I talked about like doing some things in secret because you didn't want to hear the naysayers?
Yeah.
My piece of advice to everybody is for instead of being, exposed to those naysayers, make sure you're in the room with the people who will speak into you when you can't even believe in yourself. And so one of the reasons that I kept going was because my best friend, now I told my best friend probably 4 years ago, I'm like, I'm going to be a millionaire. Now, at this point, when I made $39, I wasn't feeling what I had told my best friend 4 years ago. But because my best friend is one of those voices in my life, like, yo, they had to remind me of who I am when I don't even remember who I am. So my best friend is like, listen, I'm crying. I made quit my job. I made $39. I'm gonna quit. And my best friend said, Diana, you are going to be a millionaire. And you have not even met all of the women that are going to love you yet. And you're going to be successful. And you got this.
Girl, this is about to make me cry.
And I'm like, those are the people. And this is the thing when I tell people, like, have those people around you. You don't wait until you're in. I tell my kids all the time, you don't wait until you're in crisis to get those people.
Yeah.
So if you have people in your life right now that are already naysayers, that are already tearing you down when you're doing okay, girl, when you down, they gonna stump you. Okay. So you want to get those people in your life before the crisis comes.
I tell people all the time, you got to network before you need your network. And I think the reason why this is making me so emotional, literally, I'm about to cry, is my best friends. And they listen. But similar to you, when I lost my job, I rolled around on the ground for 60 days and they looked at me like, okay, bitch, whenever you get ready to stop rolling, you got this. And then one of my best friends, shout out to you, Tyra, she sent me a video on Instagram and she was like, I'm just waiting for it. It was like one of those videos, like, my best friend's a millionaire, so this is how we go on vacations. And she sent it to me to encourage me. Like, girl, can you hurry up? Because we trying. We already know, like, you weren't even a millionaire. You was setting us out doing like all kinds of experiences. Like, can you hurry up and like become a millionaire? When you gonna start believing that you can really do this?
Yeah.
So I really kind of feel that best friend speaking life into you when you just can't even see it for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
just powerful. And I don't know if your best friend's black. I'm having all my best friends are black with the exception of Jacqueline. Shout out to you, Jack. She's white. Everyone loves her. She's the only one. But just that power from black women who, like, they say the power of black women telling you, hey, like you can do anything, right? So
Mm-hmm.
your best friend telling you after $39 that you can do it. What was your next move?
So before I moved, I think, and this is important too, right? Because you have these people that are speaking something into your life, right? But if it's not something that you already deep down, like if it doesn't resonate with the truth that is underneath your emotional moment, it's not gonna hit. So I think the next step for me is just simply remembering. Like what they said, you a millionaire, or you're gonna make it, or there are women who love life. What they said, are they right?
Mm.
Do I believe that about me? Like beyond my emotional fit, you said you were like rolling in the floor. When you were rolling in the floor and they were like, yo, cut it out. Did you go, no, that's not true? Or did you go, you know what? Let me get up. They right.
They
Um,
actually just let me roll for 60 days. And then finally I was like, okay, I'm done rolling. They were like, okay, good, let's get to work. Like,
let's get it.
like they
Yeah.
looking like, all right, sis, whenever you're ready, you gonna roll some more?
Oh,
Yeah, I'm gonna roll a little bit more.
a
Okay.
little bit more. A little bit more. But at the point when you decide, okay, I think they're right about me. And even if they're not, like, I gotta get up and do something about this, right? We
Yep.
we've hit rock bottom before. We know what this looks like. We get up. And so I was like, let me lock in. So I invested. Look, folks come to me all the time. I don't have any money. I said, you better find some.
Ooh.
You better find some. Girl, I said, I gotta buy some courses. I said, either all these people who are making this money online are lying to me, or they know something that I don't know. So I
Mm.
need to get somebody's class. So I was trying to buy all the classes on all the payment plans. I was like, okay, when this payment plan come up, I'm gonna sell that dresser from the garage. And when my other one come up, I'm gonna drive Uber for a week. Like we gonna make this shape. So I took all the classes. I got a coach, and I got to work. I got to work.
Mm.
Yep, yep, yep.
Okay, so we went from $39 to what?
In December, so I've made $39 in November, and I went to $19,000 in December.
What changed in your approach from $39 a month to $19,000 a month?
For one, having a strategy. Like I think that because social media presents, like how you said, it's like the highlight reel. We just think for some reason that they turned on their camera and bam, it just everything just hit. There's no strategy, there's no formula. It's just their stuff goes viral and mine doesn't. And it was like, no, Diana, there is a strategy. And so one, I learned strategy about posting, but two, I learned strategy about selling. Because to get somebody to buy something, I thought I got on there, I talked about my free sample and people just bought it. It's like, no, you're expecting people who have never seen you before to buy to trust you and buy something that costs more than what they would have wanted to pay in 60 seconds.
Mm.
That's a skill, that's a strategy. Um, so number one, just learning the strategy for learning how to get views, and number two, learning the strategy of learning how to get sales. And once I started doing a strategy, because I was working a lot, I was doing so many videos and so many hours and editing. And I work an hour a day now on videos. It's like, so just learning, even just how to post. Like this is how you post on TikTok, and it not take 10 hours. Like these are the buttons you push. So just information, strategy to post, strategy to sell, and information on how to execute the stuff step by step.
So people are going to hear you work an hour a day now on creating videos. What does that hour actually look like?
So I get products. We do product selection. That's not part of my hour. My hour looks like I've already have the products that I'm going to present, whether it's something that somebody sent me for free, whether it's something that I'm like, I know that that's going viral and I'll buy it, or if it's something that I already had in my library. And I literally just open up my TikTok app and make the videos talking about the products. And it really, sometimes it doesn't even take me an hour. It takes me, I did my videos today in like 40 minutes. So that 40 minutes just looks like literally opening up your TikTok app, picking up that product that you're going to talk about, making a video on it and posting it. And that's my job. Like my job every day is pick up my phone, pick up a product, make the video, tag the product, tag the product, and hit post. That's my job.
What do you think people's like hesitancy of doing and becoming like sellers on TikTok? What do you think people have so much hesitancy about doing maybe what you're doing online?
One probably just belief, like believing that it's real. For me, coming from substitute teaching and driving Uber, $20 for me, Uber, $20 an hour was that was me making money. Or teaching, when I was for full-time teaching, my highest pay was like 5,000 a month. Then they take the taxes, so it's really like 4,000. So when someone says to me, "Oh, well, I work an hour and I make 19," and that was my low. Like I went on from December and 19,000 to January 49,000. But if you say that to a person, "Yeah, I make videos for an hour and I make $49,000 a month," they like, "Yeah, right." Yeah, right. Like, so belief. I think that is the number one thing is belief that it's real. And then the second thing is just belief that they can do it. Um, and I think that for most of the people that I work with, once I can get them past the belief that it's actually real, and then the belief that it can actually work for them, like when my women break through and they make that first money they like. I just sat down with one woman 2 weeks ago. She's been with me. She came in, she's like, Diana, I just want to make $1,000 a month. And she had cleared, I think she did $29,000 in December. And she's like, this is unbelievable. So I think that's the biggest thing. Folks just we get in our way because we feel like and it's fair because we've seen so many scams and so many get rich quick.
Yeah.
Just all you gotta do is this. And no, it's not all you gotta do. You gotta learn a skill. So I think it's so many lies out here that one, it's just unbelievable, but then two, but yeah, that's believable, but it's just believable for her, not for me.
So we have to address maybe a couple of elephants in the room, especially when it comes to TikTok. So
Mhm,
TikTok just underwent a major transition and change of ownership. How is that
mhm.
impacting the way you do business today? Because we know you started in 2024. We are now in 2026. This is now a new reality. Middle of January, change in ownership. How are you navigating that?
So I know that it's a big, huge thing, and thank you for bringing it up. And people are afraid, but let me be the one to tell you that it is a very good thing. And so view it like this. Because TikTok is now somewhat owned by America, they have been able to transition their shipping. So now everyone gets on Amazon to order their stuff because Amazon has Prime and it ships fast. And so it's good. But with TikTok, all of the sellers were shipping their own stuff. Well, now they have this TikTok shipping, which is ultimately just think of it like TikTok Prime.
Okay.
So when I tell you like, oh, I got in and it was cool, and you're like, I should have got in now if there was ever a time to get in, because now the products, you can just click it on the video and order it. That's the first thing. The second thing is the shipping is just as fast as Amazon. And number three, when America bought it, they changed it to where you can just do TikTok shop in your app, like where you can just shop in the app to now you can shop on your desktop.
Oh, okay.
So how I think it's how it has affected my business, um, I'm getting offers from huge brand deals that I had never gotten in the past. I have people that are paying me not even just from the products that I sell, but like, can we just pay you just to make the videos? Because they understand that although people on the app have been really afraid, it's about to go down. It's
Mm.
about to go down.
That's so interesting. You remind me of another guest that we had. Actually, my friend Sarah, I reference her quite a bit. And when I asked her, when I was visiting her, I asked her, I was like, girl, are you scared of these tariffs? And she's like, girl, no. Like, what you mean? Am I scared of these tariffs? It's like you don't let that outside news, what's happening, influence the way that you do business. How do you
Mhm.
kind of keep that outside noise quiet and still kind of continue to build and still move forward despite all that, noise outside telling you otherwise?
That's good. That's a good. Ooh, you're so great with the questions. Um, Number one, turn it off. And I know that that sounds crazy as somebody who works online for a living, but I am a poster and ghoster. I am going to post
Ooh.
my stuff and I'm going to get off the app. Not only am I going to get off the app, I spend the whole weekend with my phone off. Like I have the Be Present app. I am not, you would think, oh, she's on, no, I'll pre-record stuff. So number one is turn it off. And I have my ladies come in my group and they're like, Diana, I said, well, stop watching it. Like all you're doing is feeding your fear. And it's making you so afraid that it's keeping you from executing. And I'm
Mm.
executing, I'm making my money. So go make your money. So number one, just turn it, like get off. It probably sucks for a social media consultant to tell you turn off your social media, but turn off your social media.
Mm.
Post and ghost, literally. And then the second thing is get in the rooms with the right people. I'm in masterminds and groups that it's no room for noise. All we talking about is the next thing to conquer, the next hurdle to jump over. So expel the bad noise and invite the good.
So everyone, we always talk about money on the show. You mentioned some of your numbers. What has 2026 look like from a number perspective? And I appreciate you being always so transparent and sharing the numbers because I think when you share, it gives people one that you can do it. So
Hmm.
January is over. How was our
Hmm.
January, girl?
January was good. January was 49,000. So last January we did 49,000 that month. But then within 6 months, so from December, January, February, March, April, May, June, from December up to June, in 6 months, I had cleared $1 million in sales just with TikTok Shop. That wasn't doing anything else because I eventually was able to expand into the other stuff like digital products and coaching and all that stuff. But we had done $1 million in sales just selling other people's products on videos in 6 months.
And are you still sustaining those revenue numbers?
Yeah, we're doing more now because now we do brand deals. So
Mm.
I can get paid from a brand a 10,000 here, we'll give you $10,000 just to make 20 videos for us. So yeah, we'll do my goal for this year is to double that. Is to double it.
I love it. So, you have your brand called Happy Lady, Happy Life. How do you
Hmm.
define happiness now after everything you've been through?
That's so good. I define happiness as a mood, a mood that I can have complete control over. Because the bottom line is rock bottom is going to come and you're going to have to survive through it. And mountaintop, being at the top and happy and all of that kind of stuff is going to come. But your I think in a better way to put it is that my joy is what I have control over. I don't have any control over the circumstances that are outside. I mean, some of them I do, most of them I don't. But I do have control over my mood and what's going on on the inside. And so for me, happiness looks like the mood that I have control over. And when they're like, what does that look like? What does that look like? I share the story of when I was going through my divorce, and it was the most excruciating ever, and having to put on my skates and go skating to make myself smile because my happiness is my responsibility. And my happiness has to happen regardless of how much money is in my bank account or who just died, or if I have a lot of money in my bank account and I have a thriving marriage. It's a mood, it's an emotion that I have control over. And so I tell my ladies, listen, 1% happier every day because you have control over that. I'm not feeling good. Did you jump on a trampoline this morning? No. Go get it done. Go get it done. Did you go to a dance? But did you? When I was broke driving Uber, I would park in my driveway and get up on top of my car and turn the music on like it was a dance party at the club. Because this is pandemic. You can't even go nowhere. I'm on my car because I can change my mood and I can be happy in the moment. I can have joy in the moment, no matter what's going on.
I
So
love
yeah,
that. So part of the reason why I brought you on was not only to tell your story and how you have now like built this empire for yourself. If someone was listening and wants to start on TikTok, but they feel scared, what's the very first step they should do?
yes, yes, yes. Well, first of all, you got to open a TikTok page. Like get out of the scrolling and open a TikTok page. But I love this because I can give you guys some secret kung fu tricks real quick.
Let's hear
Um,
them.
but first, you just got to get out of your head that you have to believe. I always tell people you got to believe somebody. You don't have to believe everybody, but you got to believe somebody. So believe me when I tell you that the money is there and you can get it, right? Just it's there and you can get it. So after you believe that, open up a page and start posting. But then people go, well, like Diana, I don't know what to post. So this is what I tell people. Pick 5 things that you love to talk about. Write them down on a piece of paper. 5 things. I like coffee. I like relationships. I don't know, doing arts and crafts, whatever it is, write down 5 things and then go find 5 viral videos that are about those things. And then make your version, model, I call it modeling, model that same video on your page with your spin, like your twist or your story. And that's how you start making content. And if you keep doing that over and over again, you'll never run out of content and you'll learn how to make good content and you'll grow. Um, so yeah, that's what I would say to do like today. That's something that after you listen to this podcast, you can just get off and go do that like immediately.
I love it. How have Black women saved you? Support, amplify, validate, elevate.
Oh man. From the womb, my like without my Black women legacy, like my grandmother and my mom showing me what resilience looks like and showing me what hard work looks like, I wouldn't be anywhere near who I am today. So the legacy of the Black women before me, but then the sisterhood of the Black women that are right next to me, it's I mean, I don't mean to be racist or anything, but it's one thing for Becky to tell you, good job. It's a whole nother thing for your girl to be like, yeah, girl, you got it. Um, so my soul sisters, like my cheerleaders, my best friends, my sisters, my community, they ride or die like nobody else. They encourage you with enthusiasm like nobody else. And they tell you the truth like nobody else. Um, And then to my generation that's below me, of my little young Black women, my daughters, my nieces, all of my adopted daughters that my daughters keep bringing me, they inspire me to keep going and be the best, because we can't pass them down foolishness.
Mm.
Um, yeah, so just all around, we doing it. This Black sisterhood, we got it going on. That's all I can say.
I love it. Where can the people find you and connect with you and your team to learn more about what you're doing with TikTok, social media, etc.? Where can the people find you?
Thank you for asking. I can be found at the only Diana Nicole. Diana has two N's, Dianna, and Nicole is Cole. The only Diana Nicole everywhere. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I think the only place I'm not the only Diana Nicole, maybe YouTube might just be Diana Nicole. But
Okay.
yeah, come look me up.
Okay. Awesome. This has been a great conversation. You brought something out of me I wasn't expecting because of the relatability of just being around Black women who believe in you sometimes when you don't even believe in yourself. So I love that. Thank you for sharing with our audience and thanks for coming to the sanctuary today.
Thank you for having me. You're so
Awesome.
welcome.
All right, y'all. So for this week's save strategy, we're going to flip the A in save from amplify to alignment. Alignment is asking, does this partnership, platform, or plan actually match my values, capacity, and long term vision? If you're constantly explaining your standards, shrinking your expectations, or carrying more than you share, there is probably some misalignment. And misalignment is expensive. And hearing Diana share her story about, just getting out there and doing it, the longer you wait, the less money you make. So think about like how can you align some of the things that you want to do that you're interested in to your overall purpose. We talk a lot about, being scared. This is a crazy time, but there's still so much hope out there, y'all. We just got to get in alignment. So that is this week's save strategy. Like, subscribe, follow Black Women Will Say Black Women wherever you get your podcast. Follow Black Women Will Save on Instagram, all social medias. We got YouTube. I think we finally got our YouTube page. I'll have to check with MJ. No, we have our YouTube page. I think we finally got our TikTok page, which is Black Women Will Save. I gotta check with MJ on that. Follow me, Kamika T. Dillard, on Instagram and Miss KT Dillard on TikTok. Support, amplify, validate, elevate. That's how we save each other. And never forget, Black women will stay Black women. I'm your host, Kamika Dillard. Have a good day, y'all.